Huh, I wonder what happened to the original trim molding. It's not here anymore. Hello and welcome to How to Helen, where you learn something different every day. In this episode, we will be installing the upper glazing or upper trim molding for this BMW Z4. For some reason, it is a common occurrence for these vehicles for the upper trim molding to deteriorate. So let's install a new one today. If you look closely on the side of the windshield, you'll see that there's still remnants of the old trim. So what I'm gonna do is, using a blade of a box cutter, I'm gonna take it out. That way when we put the new trim in, it's gonna be snug in the channel. When removing the old trim, be sure to be gentle and patient with it. That way you don't go too deep and scratch the paint of the vehicle. Next, I'm going to be putting some painter's tape on the windshield and on the pillar. That is because before I put in the trim or molding in place, I'm going to put a bead of silicone around the channel. That way, it will hold the trim better in place and lock out any dirt, debris, or moisture from coming in. Now we're going to put a bead of silicone around the channel. And finally, now we can put in the upper windshield trim or cowling. Now, what I'm gonna do is insert the inner part first underneath the windshield, then push in the outer part on the channel. And I'm gonna start with a corner. There are a lot of ways how to do this, but this is what I think is the most efficient one. Now, because I'm seeing a small hole here by the center of the molding, I'm just gonna add some silicone on it to keep it sealed and secure. So this was something that I wasn't anticipating. I believe that the windshield was replaced on this vehicle. This is because when I was putting in the trim, the driver's side was a little too tight to put in, while on the passenger side had a lot of space. And on top, it has a lot of gap in between that the trim was going up. That's why I had to improvise and put some weights on it to keep it down. So when you're doing your trim, expect the unexpected. So we'll wait for this to dry up, then take everything out.
3 days later.
And that is how to install the upper windshield molding or trim for this 2005 BMW Z4. It is a bit surprising to see that the gap between the windshield and the frame is a bit too wide for the trim. So thankfully we were able to put some weights on the trim to hold it in place. So I guess sometimes you just have to expect the unexpected. This has been another episode of How to Helen. My name's Arja, and thank you for watching.